Today, we will once again take a look at interesting footage that captures a moment: how Ukrainian FPV drones wipe out Russian assault groups on Dnipro's bank. Nowadays, Ukrainian forces has eliminated up to 70% of Russian assault groups with FPV drones attempting to dislodge Ukrainian defenders from a strategic position on the left bank of the Dnipro River. Southern Defense Forces spokesperson Natalia Humaniuk shared these details during a broadcast on Freedom TV channel on March 3rd. Russians do not use armored vehicles because the loss of equipment at the beginning of the assault seriously shocked them, not only by the number, but also by the scale and speed of elimination. The term cannon fodder is becoming increasingly accurate for Russian soldiers, and recruitment is getting harder, Humaniuk stated, but word has spread that 70% of those deployed do not return. Despite these significant casualties, Russian commanders are persisting in their orders to storm Ukrainian positions. The occupiers involved Marines, amphibious assault troops, and even the Coast Guard. But these units refuse to attack without the support of armored vehicles. The assaults have included a variety of units such as Marines, amphibious assault troops, and even Coast Guard forces, she added. In today's update, Russia has lost nearly 7,000 troops, 98 tanks, and more than 200 artillery systems in the past week, according to Ukraine's military, as Moscow advances on several points along the front line. Moscow has lost a total of 416,800 troops since February 2022, Kyiv's military said in updated statistics on Sunday, and Russia has also lost 6,640 tanks in the more than 2 years of full-scale war, and 10,188 artillery systems, Ukraine said. While accurate casualty counts and equipment losses are notoriously difficult to pin down, it is not entirely clear how Ukraine's military calculates its daily updated figure for Russian personnel losses. However, if it includes overall casualties, as well as Russian fighters who are missing or died in non-combat circumstances, it is a perfectly plausible tally, Nick Reynolds, a research fellow for land warfare at the London-based Royal United Services Institute think tank. But the figures do offer an insight into the toll the years of war have taken on Russia's military. In late January, Britain's Armed Forces Minister, James Heappey, told UK lawmakers that Russia had sustained around 350,000 casualties in Ukraine, excluding mercenary fighters. The Kremlin rarely comments on its own casualty counts, and Kyiv offers only sporadic updates on its own losses. Russia does not publish a running tally of purported Ukrainian losses, but Moscow said on Sunday that Ukraine had lost almost 1,000 soldiers in the previous 24 hours. In late February, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said 31,000 Ukrainian soldiers had died in the more than 2 years of fighting, while in August 2023, U.S. officials told the New York Times that around 70,000 Ukrainian soldiers had been killed, with up to 120,000 wounded. The losses come as Russia presses forward at several points along the current front lines in eastern and southern Ukraine, gaining territory from Ukrainian forces waiting on more aid deliveries from their Western backers. Russia claimed the former Ukrainian stronghold of Avdiivka in the country's eastern Donetsk region on last month, but in the weeks since, Russia has advanced westward, capturing a handful of villages, including Stepov, Lastochkine, and Sivern. While on Sunday, Ukraine's military said it had repelled more than a dozen attacks over the past 24 hours, including around Orlivka, northwest of Lastochkine, and Berdichi, north of Orlivka. Russia also said on Sunday its forces had fought off 11 Ukrainian counterattacks, including around Orlivka and Berdichi. Geolocated footage shows Russian forces have advanced in central and eastern Orlivka in recent days, the U.S. think tank, the Institute for the Study of War, ISW, said on Saturday. The Russian military command is reportedly committing additional elements to offensive operations west of Avdiivka, further suggesting that Russian forces intend to continue their efforts to advance as far as possible before Ukrainian forces establish harder-to-penetrate defenses, the think tank argued in its latest assessment. Moscow's troops have also advanced to the west and south of the Russian-controlled city of Kreminna, the ISW said on Saturday, including east of the village of Terny. Ukraine said on Sunday that it had repelled attacks around Terny and the village of Avdiivka, northwest of the Moscow-controlled city of Svatov. The ISW has previously dubbed Russia's increased operations around Svatov, Kreminna and Kupiansk a key railway hub a cohesive multi-axis offensive operation. On the other hand, the Ukrainian military shared a video recording of how Russia's MLRS losses milestone hints at HIMARS superiority. More than 1,000 Russian multiple-launch rocket systems, MLRS, have now been destroyed on the battlefields of Ukraine. Per the latest figures claimed by authorities in Kyiv, as Moscow's forces continue attacking all along the 600-mile front despite staggering casualties and meager gains. The Ukrainian military on Monday reported the elimination of one more Russian MLRS, bringing the total reported losses to 1,000 over 2 years of full-scale combat. Also claimed eliminated on Monday were 880 troops, bringing the claimed total to 410,700, 13 tanks bringing the total to 6,555, and 12 artillery systems for a wartime total of 9,993. The grueling experience of Russian MLRS crews stands in stark contrast to the Ukrainians operating the US-made M142 high-mobility artillery rocket system colloquially known as the HIMARS and related NATO platforms including the German Mars and British M270s. Moscow's forces are yet to score a confirmed kill of any Western-supplied MLRS system, a reflection of the weapon's tactical and political value for Kyiv as well as the range and mobility of the platforms.